I'll have to talk about that one. Okay. Really good stuff on LS1 Tech today. What? What? Somebody says I'm wrong on the internet? So like many things on the internet, a lot of times it's wrong. A lot of times it's wrong. We trust Wikipedia a little too much sometimes. We trust sources outside of expert known sources to trust the data we are given. And that's unfortunately what happened in this case. What you see before you is in fact not an L33, like I had previously stated. This is in fact an LH6. Now, that's not a bad thing, because in the end, LH6 and L33 share a lot of things in common. However, there are a few things the L33 and the LH6 don't share. And one of those things is displacement on demand. Yeah, it's an engine that changes if it's a 4-cylinder or an 8-cylinder. Not so bad. There's actually still lots of good things about that, about this engine in particular. And I'll show you here in just a moment. As you can see, this is an LH6 valley pan. Now, one of the big differences you can see at the top is that it sends oil down this little path. That's how it activates and deactivates the AFM. Now, this little connector goes to these little solenoids down here, and that's what sends the oil down those paths and engage and disengage the AFM. Now, when you look for an LH6, you're probably thinking, well, if it's got displacement on demand, that means it can't have a 1X cam gear. And that's not true. This is a 1X cam gear on my LH6. Now, you go to the other LHs or the LC9, yeah, that's true, you'll find a 4X cam gear. But on the LH6, because it's an early LS2 type, it does have the 1X. Now this is a Generation 4 engine, but you're looking at a timing gear. And you're thinking, wait a minute, if that's a Generation 4 engine, how does it have a 24X timing gear? And the secret is that this is going into an older type truck with a 24X, 1X cam gear. This is that in-between engine. Now, if you've done the same thing I did, bought this thinking it was L33 and you actually have an LH6, don't worry. At the end of the day, this is not that far different from an L33. The biggest difference is the location of the knock sensors being on the side of the block rather than the valley pan, but that's okay. That's not a big deal. Now, if you want to turn this into an L33, that's easy too. You just get rid of the displacement on demand. And we'll show you that in another episode because it's really easy. So at the end of the day, unfortunately, you can argue that I got the wrong engine, and you'd be right. You can say that I got lucky by getting an LH6, and you'd be right. But at the end of the day, I still got an engine that's going to produce 320 horsepower out the box, and an engine that'll make more with the select mods that are coming. And you'll see that soon on a future episode of Carvage. But until then, thanks for watching.